Hey everyone, welcome to your new virtual geometry slash pre-calculus class. If you're watching this video, you've already seen this website. It has now replaced your usual lessons, videos, and solutions page with one which will give you more access to the different items we're doing in class. Excuse me. So you see on this very top one, that's that video. That's the one you must have already clicked on to watch this. And then we also have this document that will just basically run through in words what I'm talking about right now. Before I get to all the kind of new stuff that's over here, and I'm also going to note that when this is live, it might look slightly different as I'm continually changing it, depending on how well I like things and where they are. But things may move around and shift names a little bit, but basically what I'm saying will apply. This just box might be down here, or this box might be down here. Let's start off with something familiar. So if we look over here at this lessons, videos, and solutions link, that'll actually bring us to a page that will look similar to anyone that's ever checked their solution, which is hopefully all of you. But you'll see our normal page that has kind of what lessons we're covering. Scroll back up. Our lessons that we're covering in blue links, when you click on this, it will open that page. As a quick reminder, you can print these off and complete them as you normally do, or you can just put it on a separate sheet of paper. Then right here, when these are live, these will be the videos for the lessons, and solutions, as always, are over here. The new thing on the sheet, though, is our days. Now, previously, I had this as every single day was a specific lesson. Well, just for this online presence, I'm going to give you kind of a block of what we're going to accomplish in the week. So I put on here from Monday through Friday. I want us to get through these 3 lessons, watch these 3 videos, and get our solutions and make sure we got everything correct on those. That gives you access to basically do it on how you feel you need to get it done during the week, depending on what kind of pressures you have on other classes. If you want to get it all done in a couple of days, awesome. If you want to stretch it out throughout the whole week, that will also work. The hard deadline is going to be this new thing right here, and that is our quizzes. Our quizzes are actually going to take the place of me doing your homework checks. So if we look on here, it says we're doing our 12.1 to 12.3a quiz. Now, when this is live, which is usually going to be like maybe a day, maybe 2 days before this is actually due, this will be due at 5 p.m. on Friday, the 3rd. So that'll be next Friday. So this will be live a day or 2 before that 5 p.m. So you can get it done early. At 5 p.m., what's going to happen is I'm going to shut it off. And if you didn't submit your stuff to me and you didn't email me saying specifically why you didn't have it done, then you will get 0 points for that. And that will cover all of your homework for that week. So you'll basically have zeros for all of these homeworks throughout that week. There will be no making up points, all right? So if you don't do well on this quiz and you want to retry it, there is going to be no way to make up those points. There will be extra credit points that you can earn, and I'll talk about that in a bit. So just make sure you take these quizzes seriously. The nice thing about these quizzes, and I'll bring one up right now, if you look at the quizzes, so when this is live, you just click on this, and it basically brings up a quiz that looks like this. Yours probably will not say fake quiz, but this is generally how it's going to look. And it's going to start off with just, did you complete those homeworks? Did you complete homework 1.2? Yes, I did. Did you complete homework 1.3? No, I didn't, but you should probably complete that before you take this quiz. And then there's going to be some math questions. The math questions are probably worth a little bit more than you just answering yes or no to completing the homework, so I want to make sure that you understood it. So in here, they're all going to be multiple choice. We're just going to have to find one. When you hit submit, you're only able to hit submit once. So if you find out you made some mistakes, you will not be able to correct those. So when I hit submit, most of the time they're going to ask you, do you want to view your score? You can view your score. And it looks like I lost points for both of these questions. I got 5 out of 20. I will tell you also, when these scores come out, say I got a 5 out of 20, I may actually score this out of 5 out of 15. I might just give you one question. That way, if you made one little mistake and you didn't quite pick the right answer, it will be covered in that. So more often than not, this won't be your total score. It might be like 5 out of 15, depending on how hard or how many questions other people got wrong. The nice thing about the multiple choice is you should know whether you did it right or wrong. If you did it incorrect and not one of those answers are up there, then try it again and keep trying until you get it right. There is no time limit sitting on this page. So if for some reason you back out of it, you can always go back in as long as you didn't hit submit. Once you hit submit, that is your grade. All right, so that's our new quiz kind of concepts. Let's go back to here. So this is all normal except for the quizzes, which is also explained in that document here. The next thing I want to talk about is, in fact, let's do that right now. Let's talk about the test. The tests are going to be slightly different because you can't come to school and I can't watch you. What's going to happen is we're going to make this link live sometime on Friday, most likely in the morning, like at 8 o'clock in the morning, and you'll have till like 3:15 p.m. to get it done. That means you'll have all day to complete it. And it might change. We might extend this time. We'll talk together and we'll figure out what's going to work best for us. But the general idea is this link will be open for a certain amount of time. This link will actually get you to the test. So you'll be able to download it, you'll be able to print it, you'll be able to see it on the screen. Now, in addition to you just taking this test, printing it off, doing it on a separate sheet of paper, which you are allowed to as well, you need to submit your answers to me. And how that's going to happen is that's actually going to be on your Google Classroom. On your Google Classroom, let's see if I can find an example of where we have that going on. Well, let's log into that one. So what's going to basically happen on your Google thing is I'll have a test posted. I'll have a time limit on that test as well, so you know when it's going to end. On this link, this will be also where you can download the test. So you can download it here also. However, I do want you to upload your test to me. That means you're going to scan it, take pictures of it, what have you. I'll probably post a video on different methods to do that. But adding or creating is going to be right here. You're going to be able to add a Google Drive document, which means you'd scan it and put on Google Drive, a file that you scan and put on there. If you're using your iPad or your phone, you can actually just, when you click these add to create, which I believe is on the bottom, I'll go over that also in another video. But on the bottom, you'll actually be able to just say, it'll say like under here, it'll say, do you want to take a picture? You'll have to take each individual picture, but that works as well. Make sure you are submitting things that are clear that I can grade. I'm going to be grading these tests like I normally do. So if I can't see it, I'm probably going to ask you to resubmit it, which becomes kind of a hassle. Make sure you submit it by the time that we put on here. There will be a time on here and there'll be a time on the other one. It has to be submitted by then, or this link will be shut down and you'll have no way to submit it. If for some reason this isn't working, you can email it to me. That is the last resort. It creates things that are kind of chaotic for grading your tests and putting points in, but it is an option. I don't want you to use it often. In fact, we'll have a homework where you just have to submit something. Okay, that will be probably your first Google assignment. I'll say, can you submit something to me? You take a picture of any sheet and submit it to me. I want to make sure that everyone can submit it using Google Classroom. Okay, so let's move on from there. So that stuff is normal. So new tests, new quizzes. Let's talk about how class is going to work. Well, class, we'll go to these lessons, we'll watch the videos and we'll take notes, but more often than not, we're going to have questions. So when we have questions, we're going to go to this schedule link here. On this schedule link here are going to be class and office hours. Now, if we look on here, it says period 6. Right here, it says period 6. These will be all based on your normal Monday schedule. So no matter what day we're looking at, this is period 6 you do on a Monday. So once again, these are all Monday schedule. So what you'd have on period 6 is right here. Well, I don't have a class on period 6, so you'll note I don't have anything here. We'll talk about office hours in a second, but let's say that we have period 7 with me. You have geometry class. So on Monday, if it's 7th period, you are in my geometry class. Note that these 2 days are mandatory to attend. At 10:15, you're going to go ahead and you're going to click on this, and that's going to open a Zoom link. It's not going to work because I don't have it open, but this is basically what your Zoom is going to look like. It's going to say open in Zoom. Actually, this will actually work because this is me. But normally, when I have it live, it'll just log you right into that Zoom. No, cancel. because I'm already in a Zoom, it's not gonna let me open another one. Yes, there it is. I can't open another one. But that's all that's gonna happen is you'll click on here and you're gonna go right into the room with me, which I'll have active. If I don't have it active yet, say you checked in at 10:10 and I'm not there yet, what's gonna come up is this thing that says, hey, it's not live yet, please wait. My advice to you is close out of that window and then try again at 10:15 or a little later. Sometimes that you'll get actually stuck in there even though I have it open. Now, when you click on these, if I'm not there, it will email me saying that you're waiting there. So I'll most likely just get on pretty quickly after that. All right, so that's how you do your normal class. I do want to note that if you're in a geometry class, you can join any geometry section. All right, until that becomes a problem where I have like 40 geometry students in one, which I don't see happening, you can join any geometry section that you want if you just want to get some quick answers. If you are not in that period 7, I do ask that you refrain from asking questions until kind of that class gets to ask their questions. Okay, so that is how the periods work. So once again, if you're in my period 8 pre-calculus on Monday, you're going to click on that one at 12:30 and I'll be there to answer questions. Now, office hours. Office hours are slightly different. Office hours are more for one-on-one. When you click on this office hour, it's actually going to bring you up to a whole different sheet. It's going to bring you up a sheet where you can actually sign up and put your name in. So for example, let's scroll up, let's scroll down. Let's say I want to be in pre-calculus here. I'll go ahead and put my name in there. If you're someone else, just go right below it. So you click on that name. Don't delete anyone's name. Right below it and type your name in. It's not imperative that I see everyone in there. I just need to know that there's someone showing up so I can open this link to when you get there. Now at 9:30 or 11:15, whenever you're joining, when you click on that, it's going to be slightly different than a regular class. It's actually going to say you've been like waitlisted. It will say the teacher is waiting to let you in the class. What that actually is a line. Whoever's first to click on this link is going to be the first person that kind of meets up with me, and they can ask an individual one-on-one question. I'll try to limit to about 10 minutes, but if it goes longer and there's no one else on the list, then we'll just keep talking until we have your question answered. If after like 10 minutes it's going really long, I might bump you for a second, let someone else in so that we don't have a big backup of people, and then you just kind of wait there until it's open again. But just know when you click on that link, unless you're the first person or the only person, it's going to say that you're waiting for the teacher to actually accept you. That just means I'm talking to a different student. As soon as I'm done with them, I'll click on your name and you will be put in there as well. Office hours can also be, I talk about a little bit in the document, if you want to work with like a small group of people in me, it can also be on here. So what you can do is you can actually just say, you know, I want to have you can actually say I want a group, and you can just put the different names in. Those are some weird names. And I can actually let all of you in together with me if you just want to work in a small group. Or you can just send up your name, and if someone else signs in, you say want to work with them, we can do that as well. So this can be as small or as big as you want this meeting to be. Really, this is your time. Let me go back to the class real quick. So class times. I do want to note, except for on days that I put this giant mandatory on, class periods aren't mandatory. I find with online courses, it's hard to get people all on the same page to come at the exact same time every single day. So that's why we have our normal kind of sheet where you can watch your videos. I do highly suggest you go to these classes and ask questions though, as the videos are going to be a little bit shorter and I'm going to quickly get through the points and I won't get to some of the more elaborate stuff. That brings me on to some extra credit. So if you look right here, office hours are completely optional and are there to provide some extra time. But if we look up here, your homework point score can be increased extra credit by continual attendance. So if I see you coming to all of my geometry classes and continually ask questions over and over and over and really work on that, I will give you some bonus points on your homework quiz that week. So if you meet, we only have 2 places to meet. So if you meet here and here, or you meet all the geometry classes, which would be awesome too. if you can meet in all of those particular classes that you're supposed to, and I see your name pop up and you're asking questions, I'll give you some bonus points on that homework. That way, if you missed a question, it'll be null and void because I know that you're working hard and I know you're doing your homework. That really is what that is. It's a homework check. So if I know you're working really hard, I can give you some bonus points on the homework. So that is the benefit of showing up for these geometry classes or the pre-calculus classes as often as possible. So that basically breaks down our classes and our office hours. Note that Tuesday and Wednesday are mandatory. I will take attendance and make sure everyone shows up so I know that we are all on the same exact page. I do want to note 1:30 to 2:30 is by request only. That will be you want to email me and say, you know, none of these other times work. Can I just have a block to myself? So that will be on email basis. I will allow that to open. But that's the long and short of how we do those particular classes. And that's about all the new stuff that we have. I don't want to throw too much at you all at once. We'll talk more about this on this mandatory day and how we're going to do that. Once again, don't expect to know how to do everything perfectly on the first attempt. If you try to log into Zoom, and I'll have a little video on Zoom and it's not working, let me know. Let me know what's going on. I want this week basically just to be kind of our trial week. Can we get through? Are we doing okay with stuff? We can be very flexible on this first week. And then hopefully by this week, we can kind of get a little more secure of what we're doing and when we're logging in. All right, everybody. I'll see you on, what is that, Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on what class you have.